ladies and gentlemen, you know, and I know that when you see the fedora, there are going to be things that are going to cost you money. And remember, Jesus said, it is better to give to Michael Fazio than it is for Michael Fazio to give to you. Or rather, in biblical terms, it is better to give than to receive. That's the word of the day from Jesus. It's in the Bible. It's in red letters. So let's see, where should we begin? The first thing that you can put money towards giving to Michael Fazio, we have a fresh package of sponges. Now, what I want to make clear is that for the right price, you can have your name put on one of these sponges. And while the colors last, I suggest get one while there still are sponges, or I'll go back to the city and get more. So we have yellow, green, blue, pink, which is my favorite group band, Pink, different green, blue, and yellow. There are no sponges, so I guess black sponges just don't matter. But what would be the purpose of a black sponge anyway? Because you wouldn't be able to see what you were cleaning. Unless Warren H is in the house. At the beginning is a good place to start. Jack Thompson is in the house. Now, one of these sponges has one of these sponges that you don't know which one because it's in a sealed package has been gifted to the great Kennedy because of the immense amount of patronage that Gary Kennedy has given me over the years. And the fact that we laugh together, and that is worth more than money. So we haven't picked out, we don't know, we're not on it, but that's going to happen. And there's a reason that Gary Kennedy gets a free sponge. And that reason is because Gary Kennedy has been abused as much any other YouTuber could be abused. And in fact, even more to some degree. But Gary Kennedy, otherwise known by a very famous YouTuber who video is one of Gary's favorites of abuse towards Gary. It doesn't get any stronger than that. The GAC video. I also wish you to know that the GAC video in certain circles has been named. Well, I can't tell you what the name of the video is, but there are a group of people that when they watch that video, they enjoy watching as a man could be abused, other than the Big E. And in fact, they were both abused on that video, but Big E doesn't get a sponge. Big E has to wait till the next package of sponges arrive. And there are packages, there's a whole bin of sponges in the BQ Mall. I bought these and I bought some scrubbies. So Gary Kennedy is going to get a free sponge because he's been abused in that video called The GAC, which is very, very well known in our group of friends and circles of people that we stay with and communicate with. They even, the group of people even nicknamed that video. So my group of friends nicknamed the video, not The GAC, which, by the way, was in the video, The GAC, that it is, in fact, Gary's initials. I don't know if that's true. So when you abuse somebody, we will make note that you have abused somebody, and that's the way it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So let's go to the, but the rest of the sponges, you can have your name on the sponge. Now we could put the names on the back of the sponge and the front of the sponge for the right donations. And we at Hoodwinked by an Angel are not afraid of donations, which will bring me to my next topic, the Bureau of Internal Revenue Service for the Philippines. So let's see what we have. Warren Hunt, the information video's brother, from Jack Thompson. They are still too highbrow for a certain blogger whose name I can't remember. So these guys are carrying on a conversation. And Jack Thompson said, Warren, you are correct. He has no concept of satire. That's true. That's true. And he has no concept of reality. That's true, too. Reality is that you are not allowed to say the things that you said in the video named the GAC. You're not allowed to say those things. But, as we all know, there are some people that believe they can say anything they want on YouTube and that it'll have no consequences. So the GAC video, well, we can bypass the GAC video. We can, oh my God, they're a sponge. These super chats are not for the purchase of a sponge. Jack Thompson, let's get it started, baby. The $4.99 is not, you know what Jim Morrison said, right? Jim Morrison said, you cannot petition the Lord with super chat. But I also heard as a backup lyric, you cannot buy, Jim Morrison said this, you cannot buy a sponge with your name on it for $4.99. That's not possible. So there is another video that equals the GAC video, and we call that particular video, it's, I have it listed underneath Warren H. and Michael Fazio R. for each other. So that video is also a favorite amongst our group of friends. So we want to thank you for that video because it shows what lack of respect you had for a cancer patient and what lack of respect you had for considering the cancer patient had lost one testicle. So the GAC and the Warren H. and Michael Fazio R. That video is also going to be made famous when Warren H. gets to the Philippines. And he is coming to the Philippines, baby. In fact, we have a tentative arrival date for Warren H. at July 15th. That may change. But at this point, we're looking at Warren H. Now, some of you might say there's a lockdown and that there's no commercial air traffic. That would be true. But Warren has been in touch with an airline that will fly him into the Philippines privately. So that part of the equation, if it can be solved, it will be solved. So let's talk about the Bureau of Internal Revenue for the Philippines, where I said yesterday on June 25th that I would go to the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Now, I have that video on my cell phone. So there are three things that I will discuss with you about what I can tell you at this point about the Bureau of Internal Revenue Service. Number one, I'll tell you where it is, in Bohol. So the thing that you need to do if you want to get to the Bureau of Internal Revenue in Bohol, you can do this two ways. You can walk there in about 7 minutes. from the McDonald's that's located on the corner of the BQ Mall. So at that point, what you would do is stand in front of McDonald's and face across the 4-lane road. Just stand at the entrance of McDonald's by the BQ Mall and face away into the 4-lane road. You will see some small jeepneys, the miniature jeepneys, they used to be 16 passenger, but now they're 7 passenger. They used to be 17 passenger, but now they're 7 passengers. So they took 10 passenger seats away from those little mini jeepneys, and they raised the price from 10 pesos to 15 pesos for a shuttle from the BQ Mall to the ICM Mall. So when you see those small jeepneys, you walk across the street at the crosswalk in front of McDonald's, and you walk straight up that block. And then it's got a little bit of a sidewinder, left, right, really quick. You walk up the next block, up a slight incline, not much, 15 degrees. And you walk approximately, I would say, 500 feet to the top of that, or going towards the top of that hill. So right now, at this point, you're about 1,000 feet from the BQ Mall, and you're going to come to a corner. You're going to see a beauty salon supply on the corner, and you will make a left at that corner, and you will walk 100 feet, and when you walk 100 feet, you look right, and that is the Bureau of Internal Revenue. So it takes about 7 minutes at a slow pace to walk. Or you could just get in a tricycle and pay. I think it's minimum tricycle. It went from 10 pesos to 15 pesos also. But bear in mind, it's only 1 passenger per tricycle ride. No more 2 passengers, and no more motorcycles in Tagbilaran. No more what they call hobbles. In fact, there's no more riding on the back of a motorcycle for commercial use. So in other words, the motorcycle drivers that were in business up until the lockdown are no longer in business, and there are signs depicting that as you enter into Alona Beach. It says no ride on back motorcycles allowed. So I don't know if that includes a family member or not. It's only just a huge sign. And so in other words, commerce or business or income for the motorcycle riders on the island of Bohol, or at least in Panglao, there are now signs that say, and the city of Tagbilaran, no motorcycle ride on back allowed. So those people are temporarily, at least, out of business. The tricycle drivers have raised their prices, where a ride in the city was 10 pesos, now it's 15. But in the Alona Beach area, let's say you're at the McDonald's in Alona Beach, because that's the big sign, what used to be 50 pesos to go 1 block or 1 kilometer, that's also been raised. Some tricycle riders are they will give it to you for 60 pesos, but some are asking 75 pesos. So that went up 50% as well. So let's just say you're going from McDonald's to Giuseppe's Pizza. That's exactly 1 kilometer. Well, that used to be 50 pesos, but now it's 75 pesos, or you might get it for 60 pesos. And again, that only takes, I think it takes maybe 12 minutes to walk slow. And it's a nice walk. So the prices have gone up. So now we're at the Bureau of Internal Revenue Service. Let me update you on how to get registered at the Bureau of Internal Revenue. You go to the office, and I made a mistake of not thinking that I should get there early, which I never went there early in all the years I've been here. I never went there early. Last year, when I received my tax identification number, I remember going in the morning, but also because the woman that makes the stamp on the paperwork wasn't there, I went back the next afternoon at 2 o'clock. So that didn't make a difference, but now it does. So the first thing you need to know if you're going to the Bureau of Internal Revenue Service to register for your taxes in the Philippines, you have to be there before, well, the man said get there before 12 o'clock, but I arrived at exactly 12 o'clock and they had run out of numbers. So they're giving out only 150 numbers per day to get into the Bureau of Internal Revenue Service because the staff has been reduced by a certain percentage, and that's what they feel they can accommodate. So I missed getting a number. I don't know by how long. So if you're going to go register, you need to be there early to get a number between 1 and 150. At 150, they cut it off, and I don't know where I was or how much I missed the number by. So I couldn't get into the building. But what I did find out is that the law only just went, or the ordinance or whatever it is, it only just went into effect about a week ago. And there is a grace period before you have to register. So you still have, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks before it becomes an issue. So in 3 to 4 weeks is what you have to register. Then the taxes themselves, I cannot give you the information I promised yesterday because I didn't speak with an actual Internal Revenue Service officer to get that exact information. And I don't really want to scour a website with information that may or may not be correct. So what you need to do is get there. I would say get there at 9 o'clock and get a number to be assured. But I would also say if you got there at 9:30 and you got number 150, I would say that you're looking at you're going to be there all day. So someone's going to have to get the number and then figure out how much time approximately it would be before your number got called. So that would be my suggestion. And in addition to that, I will not quote any prices that are permissible of how much money you make on YouTube and how much money you don't make and how much money you make on Patreon. I don't know that information, and personally, when I find it out, I'll give it to you. Now, in addition to that, being that we're talking about income, I've heard stories. Now there are a group of what I call the Lilliputians on YouTube, scouring the internet and my internal revenue tax returns and so on and so forth. I hope you have fun, and I hope you enjoy all your findings, because I can unassuredly guarantee that since 1993, I've never been late or missed an IRS payment, and that does include my Patreon and my YouTube earnings. So the stories that you hear that I scampered to the Internal Revenue Service to make sure that my back taxes were in order or make sure that my taxes are reported, none of that is true. So we also can make a bet on that. We could make a wager. Of course, we could do that, but no one on YouTube of the Lilliputian community would have the balls to take me up on that wager. that there are no back taxes due, and that I've never missed a tax payment. So we won't make that wager, but if someone wants to throw that back at me and make a wager that they found some mistake somewhere in my tax records, I would wager you that that's not possible. So those stories, those concepts, those lies that have been placed on the computer about myself, that's what they are. And you can rest assured that I have never missed a tax payment or been late on a tax payment. And the same goes for, apparently we have the Lilliputian community reviewing my, I guess they're reviewing my visa stamps and my passport in and out of the country things. I can only imagine. I see these comments. Well, that's a good thing, because what you're going to find is that, see this passport? Well, I won't show you the passport. I'm not going to show you it. But I have this passport that I received yesterday back. Hold on. Let me get it. Got a lot of stuff here.